And in case that Malini and Eza aren't finding it, it's on the donation box.
What was that about Eze and Malini donation box? I didn't quite catch that.
If you are not finding this book, if you are not finding this
got it. Yes, thank you.
Right, so what is Antya 1? So it has to be second chapter 1. Is the second chapter? I don't see where to see that.
Maybe it's Antya 2.
Antya 2, yes, and it will be text 50. We will start with text 50.
Text 50.
Yes. Is there any other invocation than Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya?
Yeah, that's typical. That's classic. Oh, you're saying where you find it? Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Beta Tanza Jai Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Beta Tanza Jai Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Beta Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai
Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna. So I made a mistake. It's a third chapter, text 50.
Antya Lila, first chapter, text 50?
Third, 3. Like I'm showing.
I don't know what 3 means, really.
Third.
Third chapter. Got
Not
it.
first, but third.
Okay. You got a Czech accent.
I'm sorry. It didn't change.
You're not transformed yet.
No, I haven't. It didn't help me to stay in Czech for 16 months.
Okay, so
we ready?
So the chapter is entitled The Glories of Haridas Thakur.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Text 50. So I was thinking to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is where I am at in my regular studies of Srila Prabhupada's books. So I am praising myself now if you didn't understand it, because I already did it Srimad Bhagavatam and now I'm reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm already in Antya.
Jai.
And it's so inspiring that I thought to read from it today during the class, the glories of Haridas Thakur, and we will start with text 50, but we will probably read more text. Haridasa Kali Kale Yavana Apara Gobramane Himsakare Mahadurachara.
I
think we don't do it like this, or shall we? Oh.
You're leading.
You can like recite, no. My translation. My dear Thakur Haridas, in this age of Kali, most people are bereft of Vedic culture, and therefore they are called Yavanas. They are concerned only with killing cows and Brahminical culture. In this way, they are all engaged in sinful acts. So this is Lord Chaitanya speaking about his concerns to Haridas Thakur.
Yeah.
Purport. From this statement by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can clearly understand that the word Yavana does not refer only to a particular class of men. Anyone who is against the behavior of the Vedic principles is called Yavana. Such a Yavana may be in India or outside of India, as described here. The symptoms of Yavanas is that they are violent killers of cows and Brahminical culture. We offer our prayers to the Lord by saying, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. The Lord is the maintainer of Brahminical culture. His first concern is to see to the benefit of cows and brahmanas. As soon as human civilization turns against Brahminical culture and allows unrestricted killing of cows, we should understand that men are no longer under the control of the Vedic culture, but are all Yavanas and Mlechas. It is said that the Krishna consciousness movement will be prominent within the next 10,000 years, but after that, people will all become Mlechas and Yavanas. Thus, at the end of the Yuga, Krishna will appear as the Kalki avatar and kill them without consideration. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concerned about us, Mlechas and Yavanas, cow killers and killers of Brahminical culture. That's us. Lord Chaitanya is speaking about us. And he's concerned. And he continues. Iha sabara konmate haibe nishtara, tahara hetu nadekiye eduka apara. How will these Yavanas be delivered? To my great unhappiness, I do not see any way. Report. This verse reveals the significance of Lord Sri Chaitanya's appearance as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of all fallen souls. Srila Narottam Das Thakur sings, Patita Pavana hetu tava avatara. O my Lord, you have appeared just to deliver all the fallen souls. Mosama Patita Prabhu na pai beara. And among all the fallen souls, I am the lowest. How Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always thinking about the deliverance of the fallen souls is shown by the statement, Eduka apara, it is my great unhappiness. This statement indicates that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, is always very unhappy to see the fallen souls in the material world. Therefore, he himself comes as he is, or he comes as a devotee in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to deliver love of Krishna directly to the fallen souls. Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he not only gives knowledge of Krishna, but by his practical activities teaches everyone how to love Krishna, Krishna Prema Pradayate. Those who are following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should take the Lord's mission most seriously. In this age of Kali, people are gradually becoming less than animals. Nevertheless, although they are eating the flesh of cows and are envious of Brahminical culture, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considering how to deliver them from this horrible condition of life. Thus he asks all Indians to take up his mission. Bharata Bhumite Hoila Manusya Janma Jara Janma Sa Karkakari Karapara Upara. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatavarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all people. This is from Adi Lila 941. It is therefore the duty of every advanced and cultured Indian to take this cause very seriously. All Indians should help the Krishna consciousness movement in its progress to the best of their ability. Then they will be considered real followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unfortunately, even so-called Vaishnavas enviously refuse to cooperate with this movement, but instead condemn it in so many ways. We are very sorry to say that these people try to find fault with us, being unnecessarily envious of our activities. Although we are trying to the best of our ability to introduce the Krishna consciousness movement directly into the countries of the Yavanas and Mlechas. That's our countries. Such Yavanas and Mlechas are coming to us and becoming purified Vaishnavas who follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who identifies himself as a follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should feel like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who said, Iha sabara kon mate haibe nishtara. How will all these Yavanas be delivered? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always anxious to deliver the fallen souls because their fallen condition gave him great unhappiness. That is the platform on which one can propagate the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, like we can see how Krishna is more eager for us to go back home than we are eager to go back home, and he's feeling so much pain to see the suffering of the fallen conditioned souls, to see how we are entangling ourselves more and more in the material nature, and he sees, like, when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, and he saw the degradation of the culture at that time, like the hippies movement and like sex on the street and drugs. When Srila Prabhupada saw that, he was in this mood, like, how these people will ever like follow any sort of Brahminical culture, like how they will like ever like stop drugs or meat eating. It's like the same doubt, like this. We are so fallen that even Lord Chaitanya himself is asking Haridas Thakur, like, how this will be possible. Like, I want the spirit souls so much to be delivered, because it's so painful for me to see them suffering like this. But how it will be possible? Prabhupada in the purport says like this, that we are more degraded than animals, and I like that, because I like animals, and I really don't like this, like, how humans are like on the top of the evolution list, like so much better than animals. And even like in the spiritual life, it can be like, oh, humans can like practice spiritual life, but animals cannot. But like, if a spirit soul is in the body of the horse, then the spirit soul is on the consciousness of a horse or higher, because it's ready to get a new body that will be ready for higher consciousness. Where the spirit soul in the human body really can be on the level of worm in the stool or coronavirus, or much less. So the body, like when we wear clothes, that I wear like a good looking clothes, doesn't mean that I am a nice, compassionate person, and that I am like homeless and I'm wearing all like dirty, old, destroyed clothes. It doesn't mean much, really. So the body is just like clothes, and at the time of birth, we take the clothes that's exactly befitting to us. So human baby has enough elevated consciousness to be a human, enough elevated consciousness to be a human, like human qualities. That means austerity, humility, compassion, tolerance. So these are the qualities that are human, even though we don't see that. But the baby, when the spirit soul comes to the baby body, then the consciousness is on that level, it's qualified enough to get this body. And then as the years goes on, gradually we get to progress in our consciousness, or we get to degrade in our consciousness. And in this age of Kali Yuga, most what's happening in human life is degrading the consciousness. So when somebody is 50-year-old, has 50-year-old body, or 60 or 70, then the consciousness is quite far away from a human-like consciousness, and far away from cow-like consciousness, and often far away from dog-like consciousness. It's really degraded, so degraded. And so when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees it, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just went through Charikanda forest, and he was chanting Hare Krishna, and all the tigers and deers were singing and dancing in kirtan, chanting Hare Krishna with Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya knows, that's my assumption, he knows that we are even more degraded than like tigers and deers and trees. And so how it will be possible to deliver us? Even though Lord Chaitanya does this like delivering all other living entities. But so we are going to hear from what Haridas Thakur, what he responds to the Lord.
I think it's a great connection, because it's before this in the past times. He went through Jarikanda, and the elephants, tigers, deer, they were all delivered. But yeah, but what about people from like Florida, Pennsylvania, and Europe? So now he's worried.
He's really worried. And also he wants to give opportunity to Haridas Thakur to speak the glories of the process. So that's there too.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where Lord Chaitanya is putting himself in the role of student.
Yes. Haridasa kahe Prabhu chintana kariha, yavanera samsara dekhe jukana bhaviha. Haridas Thakur replied, "My dear Lord, do not be in anxiety. Do not be unhappy to see the condition of the Yavanas in material existence." Purport. These words of Haridas Thakur are just befitting a devotee who has dedicated his life and soul to the service of the Lord. When the Lord is unhappy because of the condition of the fallen souls, the devotee consoles him, saying, "My dear Lord, do not be in anxiety. This is service. Everyone should adopt the cause of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to try to relieve him from the anxiety he feels. This is actually service to the Lord. One who tries to relieve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's anxiety for the fallen souls is certainly a most dear and confidential devotee of the Lord. To blaspheme such a devotee who is trying his best to spread the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the greatest offense. One who does so is simply awaiting punishment for his enemy." So Haridas Thakur says, don't worry. Now the glories of the holy name will continue. Yavana sakare mukti habe anayase harama bale kahe nama base. Nama abase means almost chanting the holy name of the Lord without offenses. Almost chanting the holy name of the Lord without offenses. So translation. Because the Yavanas are accustomed to saying Harama, Harama, O Lord Ramachandra, they will very easily be delivered by this Nama Basa, almost chanting the holy name of the Lord without offenses. So that's wonderful, that's amazing. And my understanding from like the purport as they go on is this Harama is like cursing. Like when the Yavanas at the time, like I don't know, a hammer falls on my feet, I would go like Harama, Harama, like cursing. It's more elevating than cursing of our times, because Kali Yuga is progressing, but that's how they were cursing. And Haridas Thakur is pointing to this. They will be easily delivered by this Namabas. Like, isn't it amazing? They are cursing and they will be delivered because that's the potency. That's the potency of the holy name. So we are like so fortunate to be given this treasure from Shah Prabhupada. Cheto darpanam archanam davamaha davagnirvapanam Shakairava chandrika vitaranam vidya vaduchivanam Ananda buddhivadhanam pratipadam purnam vitasvadanam Sarvadna snaparam param vichayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Param vichayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glories to the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya, because it clears the heart. It can clear the heart even we are probably on the level like of the most fallen entities, and even for us, it's going to clean the heart. It's going to clear the heart from all unwanted things, and even if it's chanted like almost without offenses or unknowingly or as like curse or actually as I will skip a little forward because this is like really amazing purport that I was reading yesterday already to Eze and to Malini, but I don't know if I will find it quickly, but it's really, it's a fast forwarding thing. Maybe if I find it.
Krishna.
Okay, maybe I will not find it. How I read? No. Okay, maybe I should make a note where it was. So anyway, so the purport says that even if the syllables of the holy name are spread apart by a word or a syllable, it's still in effect. So for example, if I say creation avocado, I said Krishna. That's what the purport says, because it's like Kri, then A, it doesn't count, Shan, avocado, Krishna. So I said it, and it has effect. how merciful is that? So yesterday, Eze and I, we were like figuring out things, how to say Hare and Krishna, like heart rate, Hare. I said Hare. So I'm not finding the purport, but this is what the purport says. So it's just like for example in Czech Republic when I was growing up, like the fake butter came out, like the margarine, as like the news when the iron wall fell, then it was like news coming from the west, the butter from oil, and they call it Rama. And everyone was buying this new Rama that came like from the west because it was cool, it was from the west. So the devotees, I spoke to the devotees that were devotees at the time, and they thought like some devotees like sneaked it to the market. They really thought it, but they didn't. So Krishna is tricking us. Yesterday, the Raghavendra Prabhu was speaking how Krishna is tricking us in so many different ways to come to love him, and that's a way to do it because the name will purify our heart. However we say, and then when the heart is purified, then we naturally awaken to our original nature, because this is not artificial imposition to the mind. It's original transcendental sound vibration of the spirit soul. Not that I have much understanding of the expression. I'm thinking about it in terms of like physics, like the little particles in atoms are vibrating in certain frequencies and amplitudes. And the sound is also vibrating. So I'm imagining that the spirit soul is like vibrating Hare Krishna constantly. And then we chant Hare Krishna, the consciousness becomes so purified that we can actually be connected to that original transcendental sound vibration. It's effortless. It's not like, oh, I need to remember to chant. Or I need to like focus my mind to chant. It's constantly happening. The spirit soul is constantly vibrating in this frequency and amplitude of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And then there is resonance, like when we hear the name, even if it's like spread apart, like creation avocado, still I just said Krishna. You see, there is this vibration. So Lord Chaitanya, by his sadness and worries, like how these yavanas will be delivered, is giving Lord Chaitanya opportunity to speak of the glories of the holy name. Because even today morning we were reading the most important from the 9 processes of devotional service is chanting the holy name. Because that's, first of all, like when we are connected to that consciousness, then it's constantly happening anyway. And then, so throughout all the other processes of devotional service, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is always there. And second, that's what will like get us there, purify us, get us there most quickly. So that's our opportunity in this life. Actually, Jeremy is here, and I spoke with Jeremy, I think it was like 2 years ago. And I have like constantly, like our conversation is constantly in my heart. And I didn't, when I was preparing for this class, I didn't know yet you will be here, but I knew that's what I want to speak about. So it's fine that you are here. And Jeremy, you are practicing Vipassana? Is that what it's called? So Jeremy is practicing Vipassana. And I asked Jeremy, what's the goal? What's the goal of your practice? What is like the most like esoteric, exalted goal? I asked like that. And Jeremy told me, well, for me, the most esoteric goal is to focus my mind. And it was like a little slap for me, but I was thinking about it a lot since then. And yes, it's the most esoteric goal for me too. It really is. And I am thinking a lot about this, like we are encouraged to cultivate spiritual desires, and they can look like different ways, like, oh, I want to eat gulab jamuns with Krishna in Vaikuntha, or I want to see the Lord, or like it can look like the spiritual desires can look different way, and they're like all beautiful. But then like looking for where I am at, to really like cultivate the desire to focus my mind feels like where I am at, like a goal that's a goal that's in front of me. Because like in every endeavor, I have the tendency to like see the goal that's like really like far away. But then because I'm seeing the goal that's far away, I am not really focusing for what's my like to do now. Even let's say when I was riding horses, I was focusing on like, and I will like ride this like super fancy dressage movements, and the horse will like respond to my thoughts, and it will be like running our bodies. But really my work then was like sit straight. But I didn't have time to try to sit straight because I was like so absorbed in, and it's good to have like the long-term goal, because that can give us like inspiration for the short. I don't think it's short-term goal for me to focus my mind, but for the relatively short-term goals, it can be helpful. But at the same time, like my desire is to desire to focus on the goals that are like for me like right now. And one of them is to focus my mind when I chant Hare Krishna, and one of them is to chant Hare Krishna constantly. And one of them is to have more and more faith that when I do that, then I am fulfilling the purpose of human life. That I can like, after every day, I can look back and know I did my 100%. And then when I do that, I am satisfied with myself and I'm happy. And when I'm connected to these goals, like, yeah, my goal is to focus on chanting and chant constantly and have faith in the holy name. When I am connected to these goals, then the goal is already accomplished, because as soon as I remember it, I can do it. And then I can practice gratitude, because I know that I wouldn't remember. From Krishna comes remembrance. And I know that I wouldn't be able to remember without him. And sometimes I just walk and I feel like, oh, I love my life. And I say it because before I came to Satvatov, I had this t-shirt that said, I love my life. And then after I went through Satvatov seminar, I threw the t-shirt away because I'm like, yeah, I learned that this is like Maya. I learned that this is Maya, and I'm like throwing I love my t-shirt away because this world is miserable, full of suffering, and so I will not wear t-shirt. I love my life. But now I'm like, sometimes I remember this t-shirt often, I miss it, and I feel like I love my life because I can do this. I can fulfill this most sublime purpose of human life. Every second I choose to do so, I can fulfill it just by focusing on the Maha Mantra. And I had like a really beautiful experience with this recently. I went to a surgery. It was a little surgery. I know there is not such a thing as a little surgery, but it's a little surgery. And I was in the surgery room, and there is like a team of, 7, like running around me, and I have spread hands and spread legs. I'm completely naked, and they are putting like needles in me. It really like wasn't a super comfortable situation. I was only grateful that the team was only women, which didn't have to be like that. It could have been only men. I have like no say to that, but I was grateful that it was only women. And I was just chanting. And it wasn't like any sort of esoteric experience. Like there wasn't a drop of esoteric experience in that. What was esoteric about it was that I focused. And for me, that's really esoteric. And it was so sheltering. And again, it wasn't like that I would feel like love with Krishna, or not even like blissful or connected, anything like that. But just that I have some place to focus my mind to. Instead of all the fear, like before the surgery, I signed up all the papers like, you may die during the surgery, or we may sterilize you during the surgery, or we might make a hole accidentally in your intestines. So So I signed up all these papers and then I'm like there, spread my hands. So it could be like quite miserable. Where my mind could take me could be quite a miserable place. But my mind didn't take me there because Krishna gave me the remembrance to remember where I can focus my mind. It's so beautiful. So I will read a little more. Mahapreme Bhakta Kahe Hare Rama Yamanera Bhagyadeka Maya Sainama. A devotee in advanced ecstatic love exclaims, "Oh my Lord Ramachandra, oh my Lord Ramachandra." But the Yavanas also chant, Harama, Harama. Just see their good fortune. So fortunate. So fortunate. Creation avocado, there we go. If a child touches fire, the fire will burn him. And if an elderly man touches fire, it will burn him also. Haridas Thakur says that the great devotee of the Lord exclaims, Harama, Harama. But although Yavanas do not know the transcendental meaning of Harama, Harama, they say the words in the curse of their ordinary life. For the Yavanas, the words Harama mean abominable. Whereas the devotee explains the words Harama in ecstatic love. Nevertheless, because the words Harama are the spiritual summum bonum, the fact is the same. Whether they are uttered by Yavanas or by great devotees, just as fire is the same for both a child and for an elderly man. In other words, the holy name of the Lord, Harama, always acts, even when the holy names are chanted without reference to the Supreme Lord. Yavanas utter the holy name in different attitude than devotees, but the holy name Harama is so powerful spiritually that it acts everywhere, whether one knows it or not. This is explained as follows. Yadyapi anya sankete anya haya namabasa tatapina merateja nahaya vinasa. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, the authority on the chanting of the holy name, said, the chanting of the Lord's holy name to indicate something other than the Lord is an instance of namabhas. Even when the holy name is chanted in this way, its transcendental power is not destroyed. Damshri, Damshtra, that's Damshri, Damshtra, Tomlecho, Harameti, Puna, Puna, Muktvapi, Muktim, Apnoti, Kim Puna, Shradhaya, Krinam. Even a Mlecha who is being killed by the tusk of a boar and who cries in distress again and again, Harama, Harama, attains liberation. We're to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith. I will go to text 57. Ajamila putre bolaya bali narayana Vishnuduta asi chadaya tahara bandana. Ajamila was a great sinner during his life, but at the time of death, he accidentally called for his youngest son, whose name was Narayan, and the attendants of Lord Vishnu came to relieve him from the bounds of Rayamaraj, the superintendent of death. Ramadui Akshara Iha Nahe Vyavahita Premavachi Hasabdataha Te Bushita. The word Rama consists of the two syllables, Ra and Ma. These are unseparated and are decorated with the loving word Ha, meaning O. Namera Akshara Sabera Eita Svabaha Vyavahita Hoilena Chade Apana Pravava. The letters of the holy name have so much spiritual potency that they act even when uttered improperly. Nai kam yasya vachi smarana patra gatam shrotra muam gatam va shudam vasudha varnam vyavahita rahitam tara yatyeva satyam. Tachcha deha Dravina Chanata Lobha Pashanda Madhya Nikshiptam Syam Napala Chanakam Shikram Evatra Vipra. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord, or if it penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is the channel of oral reception, that holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, and properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahmana, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of the material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yes, so here is my favorite purport. So I will read the part of it. Suppose one is using two words, halam riktam. Now the syllable ha in the word halam and the syllable ri in riktam are separately pronounced, but nevertheless, it will act because one somehow or other utters the word hari. Similarly, in the word raja maisi, the syllables ra and ma appear in two separate words, but because they somehow or other appear together, the holy name Rama will act, provided there are no offenses.
In the next edition, we'll include the creation avocado example. The next printing.
Yeah, really. So it's so you see, it acts anyway, so that's encouraging. And then if it can avoid offenses, then it acts faster. So that's more encouraging. That's encouraging us to try to make effort to avoid offenses. So what are the offenses? There is 10 of them and I don't remember them all. Maybe I tried hard, but one of the biggest one is my understanding about is commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. So I can do whatever I want because I chant Hare Krishna and then I will not have to suffer my karma for what I've done. So that's so offensive to the holy name, to like abuse it, such abuse to think this way. And Krishna Svatha Krishna Punyashtava Nakirtana Hridyantashtovya Bhadrani Vidunoti Sudritsatam. Krishna, the Paramatma in everyone's heart, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages. So Krishna Paramatma is cleansing the desire from our hearts, from the sinful reactions really. When we chant Hare Krishna or when we hear Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, then this cleansing process is like set in motion. And then so like if I chant to purify my heart, but then Paramatma, Krishna in the form of Paramatma is helping me with that personally. And then I add like more dirt. Like for example, when I clean the house and then someone comes immediately and make mess again. I really don't want to clean the house again. So eventually I will because I don't want to look at the mess. So I think that's what it means, is like the desired result is like not produced very soon. Because it's just like the Paramatma is like cleaning the heart some way or other and then putting more mess, like, you know what, like I'm really tired to like do this. So of course Krishna doesn't get tired, but that's how I can relate. So that's been my meditation on the holy name, and like sometimes like different discussions of like what's my service, or like this is like chanting is always a good response. And we can do other things while we chant. Chanting is always a good response, and like really take shelter in the holy name and remember it, and then like, or like questions of like, oh, what is my relationship with Krishna? If I don't chant constantly, then probably my relationship with Krishna is quite far away. So, and then Lord Chaitanya in Shikshastakam says, I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for these names. Like we hear all this it's all you need, it's easy, doesn't cost anything. You can just chant Hare Krishna. It doesn't even have to be perfectly pronounced. There are no rules or regulations. You can do it during any other activity of the day. You don't have to change or like renounce your life. And so it's so available, so simple, no rules, regulations. And then Lord Chaitanya said, and it gives everything. It gives everything that we have always desired for. It gives everything that we have always desired for. And not that I have much realization of it, but I'm cultivating the faith that it's true. And also, I guess I don't have like, devotees sometimes are like so excited to chant Hare Krishna on the beach or something like it, that like helps them, I don't know, but feels better. I don't have that. Like I chant and I feel nothing mostly, or I feel worse oftentimes. But what I have for sure is the experience of these 6 years of like doing it with committed structure and seeing the transformation that I'm going through. So that I have no doubts about. So in the long term, I have experience and faith that it works. And in the short term, I'm trying to remember, in the long term it works. And even if it didn't, it's still, I don't have better idea what to do with my life and time, or where to focus my mind. So if nothing else, it's a good place where to focus my mind. And then they are so unfortunate. Lord Chaitanya says, I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction. Like I'm like getting diamonds of diamonds, like all that I could have ever desired for, or like I didn't even think to desire for. You know, like it's like the desires like are always like adding and adding more. Like, oh, I want this, and now I have it, so I want that, and now I have that, so I want something else. And then like I want a house, and then when I have a house, I realize that I want to have a spouse, and when I have a spouse, I realize I want to have a horse, and when I have a horse, I realize I want to have a horse trainer. But Krishna, this is really the last thing I will want, I promise, and then I will focus on your service. Well, but can you please let me pass the customs at Serbia? That's the last thing I will ask you. Well, Krishna, but now I'm getting sick. Can you please make that I am healthy? This is like really the last thing that I want to ask you for. So it's like as like my desires are fulfilled, I have more desires to come up my way. So because this last is never satisfied, and it burns like fire. So I will always want something more, and I will never be satisfied. And as I'm like getting more of these like different material assets, something else uncomes what I want. And then maybe I come to the platform of like, oh, this doesn't give me happiness, it only gives me suffering. Actually, all the things that I achieve only give me suffering. So I want liberation from this. And then people who achieve liberation, what they want, not for Krishna. Because until we get to that point, nothing is satisfying for the soul. And so it's like the desire, it's like the desire of the desire. It's like if somebody is like very poor and has nothing to eat, then maybe he prays, oh, I wish I had like a bowl of rice every day. And then he has it, and then he wants like, oh, if I just like could have like a full 3 meals a day. Oh, that's exciting. And then and it's like the very poor person cannot maybe even like conceive of like the riches. Even like us, like in this like earthly planet, we cannot conceive of the riches that we could have in heavenly planets. So it's like, in some sense, like these are the desires that we don't even know yet that we could desire for. Like a little child have no ideas about like adult desires. So this is like adult desire, this. And it can be all fulfilled by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So easy. And then Lord Chaitanya says, and I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Like how painful it is. And then how much pain he sees for us, that we don't have attraction for these names. And then the response comes with our favorite Trinat Api verse, Trinat Api Sunichana, Taraviva Saichnana, Amanina Matandena, Kirtanaya Sadadara. One should chant the holy name in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the sea. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So again, it's not esoteric. It's not like, once I have like so much love for Krishna, then I can chant the holy name constantly. Or like, once I see Krishna face to face and I will be like so connected to like the Vrindavan consciousness and the gopis and sing with Krishna, then I will chant constantly. No, just be humble. It's so grounded. This process is like so grounded, so like made, like Lord Chaitanya Prabhupada is like, they are making it so much to meet us where we are at. And where we are at, it would be good to have a little humility for where we are at. And also to know like, yes, we are the machas and yavanas, me for sure, that Lord Chaitanya is speaking about. Because I can go to like, oh, I'm vegetarian, so I'm so much better than the people around me. But really to know that I am vegetarian only because of the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And it can be given to anyone, anytime, and also can be taken away. And I have experiences of that, of like feeling proud, and then immediately like I explode in rage, or I have like, whatever desires coming in my way. And I feel like, oh, thank you, Krishna. And I have like, it was beautiful, like the experience that this last thing that I will say, I don't know what time it is. It's
5 minutes before 9.
Okay, good. So I will say that. Yeah, when I was coming here, it was quite a journey. 5 weeks ago, Brielle wrote me if I would come here. It's 5 weeks already. I think how time flies. So, and because from Europe, we still cannot travel to United States.
And here you are.
Here I am. And I really will not go in details how I did it in like a recorded public meeting. But if someone is like curious to hear more of the details, I'm available for that. It was adventurous, it was edgy. But what I say is like, I got like so much of this like humility on the trip, like really knowing that I wasn't the doer at like any single step, because there were like so many points that could go wrong, and there were points that went wrong. Like I wanted to come 3 weeks ago, but then I was at the surgery room instead. So then I got a new air ticket and arranged for a new trip to Serbia, and like I was like, so like the journey here was so fragile. And I came to Serbia airport and they told me, no, we cannot let you go. And I was like, okay, Krishna, it was a nice surrender trip. So I go back home. And then it was like sometimes when I go on Sankirtan and people touch the book or with one sentence, and I can see how their expression completely changes by being in contact with Srila Prabhupada, with the transcendental sound vibration. And that's what happened at the airport. There was like a team, they like teamed up against me. And then the team all of a sudden experienced like Sattvato foundational and Sattvato Advanced Seminar and Sattvato free and chanted 16 rounds of japa in like one moment. And their expression completely changed. And they said, okay, you can go. I was like, wow, that's really far out. That was really far out. And then I got here and I got sick. And I was like so much thinking like how we are these fallen soldiers, like fallible soldiers. Like I want to come to help, but really like I'm a fallible soldier. Like this not even made my hands to come. And then even when I am here, like what I can really do, like what we can really do for each other, except help each other to gain the eternal value that we can take for eternity. Because there is nothing else we can do for each other. And when I learned that Malini had cancer, I saw all the emails coming like, oh, let me know when you like want, I will help and like care and like this. So I also wrote my email like this, and I was thinking like, yeah, like so many people are like in the line, so I have no chance that I will. For me, it's like winning a lottery. For me to like have the opportunity to take care for a devotee, it's like winning a lottery. And I was thinking like, this lottery is like lost for me completely. And then I got this message from you. I'm like, I won the lottery. I won the lottery. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for that. I see Krishna's care in it. And that's another, like I was speaking about this like grounded desires. Malini, 2 years ago, Malini, I had this coaching session with Malini and she gave me a contract. The coaching session haven't even started yet. And she said like, hey, I have a new contract for you. I'm like, oh, I really feel seen as an expert in my life. And she gave me this contract. I am simple, grounded, and ordinary.
It's difficult for you to say. I see that.
Yes, I will try it. I'm simple, grounded, and ordinary. I would never give myself such contract. I would never even think of like wanting such qualities. Like who would want to be like ordinary? But anyways, so she gave me this contract. And even though I felt some resistance, like in my heart, I felt like this like big sigh, like, thank you, this feels so good. And this does feel so good. And so from this contract, simple, grounded, and ordinary, there comes goals like focusing on chanting Hare Krishna mantra, rather than being like the best pure devotee in the whole entire universe. And another one of those is like really cultivating this like joy in service. And I think I got a lot of this for this life. Even my astrology chart says it that I have 2 villains in service. And I'm grateful for it because it's like a greatest boon. It's a greatest boon. And then when I can serve and I can be engaged in service, I don't need anything else. So I want to share that I am really grateful for this service opportunity, and also to Krishna that he like arranged that I'm here, and I really have full faith that he's done it. Like the morning that you wrote me, I woke up from a dream about Malini. It was first time that I had a dream, like live dream with her since the time. And in the morning I knew like I have to come. It's like it's time I have to come, and I didn't know like why or so. And I look at the traveling situation. I'm like, no way, I cannot come. And then you wrote to me. I'm like, okay, I have to come. And then I made 48 hours research of how to get here. Like, can I travel from Czech Republic to Mexico? Yes, I can. Can I travel from Mexico to United States? I could have a week ago, but not now anymore. Okay, can I travel from Czech Republic to Russia? Yes, I can. Can I travel from Russia to United States? Yes, I can. Is there a flight from Russia to United States? Yes, but it's Russia, England, and United States. So that's not allowed because I cannot travel through England to United States. So I did like 48-hour research like this. And then I woke up the next morning. And I knew I was clear on the plan. I was clear on the plan, and I felt like so. I felt so guided in it. And I was like, okay, I'm going. And then I was there at the airport, and and then told me, don't, like, you are not allowed to enter the plane. I was like, okay, Krishna, I thought it was a plan from you, because obviously I didn't make it. But anyway, like, I gave my 100% of my meditation. I gave my 100%, and I'm not accustomed to the results. So the results are in your hands. So it itself felt fulfilling and satisfying that I did this 100%, regardless of the result. And what was also interesting, on the way to Serbia, I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. And there is this one purport that I was trying to trace back, but I didn't. And the purport says that if someone who has opportunity to do so doesn't take care for a mother, not one's own mother, a mother, or a spiritual teacher, a cow, a brahmana, if one has the opportunity to take care for them but does not do so, goes to hell. So I was glad to see Krishna, like, I am like giving my honest effort to see if I have the opportunity or not. So I don't want to go to hell, to be clear. So yes, so that's my another simple grounded, and what was the last one? Ordinary. That's the most difficult one. Simple, grounded, and ordinary.
You somehow forgot that one.
Someone think I was. So that's my another desire to just really, and I was living it in Czech this past 15 months to really focusing on just the simple day-to-day task. Like there is this song in the movie Brother Moon and Sister Luna. Is this song like, if you want to live life free, take your time, go slowly. Do few things, but do them well. Work goes purely. Yes. So to really be satisfied with my daily life. Okay, doing my sadhana, cooking for the deities, and just really take time to do it. Don't rush. Focus on it, and do it in very simple way, and knowing that nothing more or else or extraordinary needs to be accomplished. It's okay, if I spend my full life sewing for the deities and cooking for my husband, then I will probably not have a statue somewhere. Yeah, but really learning this appreciation for the simple daily tasks, so freeing, and give so much space for spiritual life. So that's all from me, and I open it for discussion, comments, questions, criticism.
You never know what will come at this point.
Exactly, it's the most scary part now. I feel can we exchange now?
I'm just seeing who's here. I did. I see there's a chat. I'm going to read what's on the chat. Okay, that's from earlier. Okay. Well, Hare Krishna, Hladini Shakti, thank you for your enthusiastic, empowered sharing. And I appreciated the Trinata P verse, and you just kind of highlighted that, because chant the holy name of God constantly. That's the fourth line. And that's all, and coming before that, the ground is humility, tolerance, ready to offer all respects for others, wanting no respect for myself. Then on that ground, okay, then we're clear.
Then nadanam nachanam na sundarim.
Yes. So thanks for that. Kim has her hand up.
Hare Krishna, Kim.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. That class was so sweet. And I loved hearing that whole story about getting here to America. That was just, I don't know, it's just wonderful to hear it. And I know we also appreciate you coming. So thank you. And the class, I love the class. And I particularly liked when you mentioned about the animals and, and then Dear Govinda went in to say more about that. And, I think that's why we all who have our animals and we love our animals, we always chant to them because we think we're giving them a foot up, hoping they're getting farther. So I love that point, but the whole class, everything. Thank you so much.
Rosie is the most fortunate dog in the world.
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I don't know, it's
Damayanti. Thank you for the class. I want to say hi to Jeremy, and I'd love to see you while you're here.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi, brother. Hare Krishna. Well, I needed the class today. I don't really have much of a, I don't have much attraction to chanting. I have an attraction to other forms of devotional service. Even though I'm not attracted to chanting, I still believe in the philosophy of it. Like it makes sense, and there's not like I'm doubting the practice or I'm wanting a different practice or wanting to even drop it. What I want is to be stronger in my desire to fulfill. I feel like crying actually. Just I really am challenged with chanting, and I want to do it. It's not like I think I picked the wrong practice or anything like that. So I'm grateful for your class, just to focus in on the that maybe my. I mean, what I don't have like a lot of faith in is that I'm gonna change. Like I'm gonna develop genuine like joy. And so I don't really want to be like, my spiritual practice feels like such a challenge. I don't want to experience it as a challenge. And I don't know if I'll ever change.
Yeah, you are challenged. You are challenged in your practice, and it's making some emotions for you.
Yeah, and I usually just judge myself. Like, oh, I'm just a lazy American. But it's not really helpful to just put a label on it. But anyway, I feel like your class was really touching and giving me some hope that that maybe there'll be a possibility for me to have a different attitude or like experience with chanting. And I have experienced chanting that was joyful. And I don't know if this is like common, but I think like I feel like it got worse since I experienced like a initiation ceremony. So it just feels harder now.
But it's more difficult to stay in the get to consciousness when you have this whole like commitment.
Yeah.
And like I will share to what you share because I think I can relate to your experience a lot. It is like, for me, like chanting on japa is rather a challenge than anything else. But the way how like I have two ways that help me with this. One, I think Krishna appreciates it more. Mm-hmm. Like, of course, it's like nice to have love for Krishna and chant like from pure devotional place. I'm sure that Krishna appreciates that more. But like for like where I am at, if I have like day where I really don't feel like chanting and it's challenge, and that's most of my days, I feel like Krishna appreciates it more because I can show more of like my sincerity, that I am doing this for as a matter of duty, as a matter of commitment to my spiritual master, as a matter of commitment to myself. And like everyone is doing what feels good to the senses. So in a sense, like for where I am at, if I feel like some pleasure in chanting japa, it's probably not like a pure devotee spiritual thing. It's more like, oh, my senses are pleased or my senses are not pleased. And like dogs and hogs are doing what's pleasing to the senses. So if I chant japa only because it feels good, that is like, it's great, but it's not like so much of like giving in it. So when I don't feel good, I'm like, oh, good. So now I can like give it to Krishna and not enjoy it. So that's one thing that helps me with like, you know, instead of like, oh, like I'm such a lazy Czech person who like doesn't have like taste for chanting and like doesn't get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. So it's like, oh, I'm like doing it even when I don't feel like it. How glorious that is. And then second one that helps me, and that's like I'm thinking like we are like little children, or I am like a one, 16-month-old or something trying to walk. It's not working so well, I'm like trying to run and falling down. And then the parents are so pleased with the effort of the child. The parents are so pleased with any of the effort of the child. And they don't think the child should be like 10-year-old. So even like at the Sattvatov seminar, in the advanced seminar, there's like so many seminars coming up. It's amazing. So in the Sattvatov seminar, it's not like that the people come and they have like big grunges and self-defeating games and stuff like this. And it's not that like the Raghavinda Prabhu will say like, oh, just get over it. You shouldn't feel this way. No, not at all. It's just like, it really starts with like acceptance. Simple, grounded and ordinary acceptance of like where I am at, and like I am ordinary, lazy Westerner, mlecha and Yavana, who like by the causeless mercy has the opportunity to like even get in touch with this process, and I can consider myself most fortunate. And I don't feel like doing it. I would rather have ice cream, or sleep a little longer, or, definitely not like chant, and chanting on beats is especially austere for me. And I go for a japa walk and I feel like, oh, it's so annoying to chant with it. I just want to listen to the birds. But I do that. So it's great. What do you think?
Thank you. Yeah. What came up for me was like, this might seem silly, but I was like, I'm thinking like I don't really know where this is coming from, but what I'm thinking is like, I'm probably going to be left behind is how I feel. That feeling's coming up, and I was just telling some friends of mine who are devotees, like every dream I've had a few dreams with Srila Prabhupada in it, and every single one of them, he's on his mission and I'm just like way behind and I can't like reach him. And I'm really grateful for this class because I feel like I'm getting in touch with like sincere feelings and pain, and like kind of like it's moving me. So I'm really grateful, and so that's what's happening for me. I'm listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And I hear you experiencing pain and gratitude, and yeah, we cannot be on the level of Srila Prabhupada. He's on his mission, and we can do like a tiny 1.5-year-old service to help him, which is not always help. Sometimes it's like make things more complicated and difficult. And he appreciates that we try. Hare Krishna.
Looks like, yeah, there's more hands up. So,
How do you see?
like the blue thing, that's a hand.
I see. On my computer, it looks completely different.
Okay. Len Cohen, and then Keith.
Hare Krishna, Len.
Hare Krishna, Hladini, Shakti, nice to have you here
Thank you.
from Europe and your travels over from the Czech Republic. And Damayanti, thank you for sharing your deep emotions there. But yeah, I just wanted to say hello to Hladini. You know, I'm I just checking in with you. You're right down. I'm right up the hill from where you are right now, but. I just wanted to, say how grateful I am that you're all the things that you've done for Malini, and putting together the Harinams and the Kirtans, and then coming here. It's so I'm just amazed at your caring and concern, and your class. And I just want to say your whole energy is so fantastic. You're smiling, you're blissful. I mean, your words are right on, and very wise and intelligent comments on Shastra. But what gets me mostly is your blissful energy. You don't have to say anything. You just have this kind of you're just full of joy and bliss and mirthfulness, and you have a kind of a sense of humor that's kind of that I really appreciate. So like I don't know, I just really appreciate your energy and all your contributions to Bhagavatam class, because I've been here for quite a while, and I'm just really excited that you're here. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually come over and be with you in your physical presence, because you're coughing and I'm a little paranoid and I don't want to get sick. But I will meet you outside somewhere. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, God bless you, and I love you, and you're wonderful, and thank you for everything that you're doing. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation, Len. I guess I have blissful energy because I won the lottery.
I missed that. What'd you say? Oh, yeah, right. Your accent is a challenge for me. I'm hard of hearing as it is, but now with to go with the Czech accent, say that again, because I don't want to miss any of your jokes.
It wasn't my accent, but I felt like coughing. But I thought I cannot cough, so I can see you, so I didn't cough. But then I kind of spoiled what I wanted to say. I say that I think I have blissful energy because I just won the lottery.
Because you just want to serve?
I got to
Translate?
yes.
You're
Did I
saying-
go in nice translate?
saying-
Yes, translate, please. Thank you, David.
He has blissful energy because he won the lottery.
Thank
You
you.
won the lottery. Okay. And finally, you are not simple. You are simply happy and blissful. And you are not ordinary. You're extraordinarily blissful. And I say that in all groundedness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now, I didn't.
Okay, so there's a chat. Thank you for the clarification, Keith. And Keith, you have your hand up. You have a comment or question, Keith?
Hello, Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I mean, I always feel a similar way as Leonard towards you. Yeah, you always have a very wonderful energy, and it was a nice class. And I just wanted to share something with Damayanti that's helped me recently. It was Tony Robbins saying something about wanting change, waiting for change, or needing change to happen. And the way that he put it helped me a lot very recently. I'm still, digesting it or in the process of applying it. But he was saying that like this world is always changing. It's like, it's a place of change, and that's like, it's kind of like, I took it as like the material context, always changing. So we're putting our hopes in place in the situation. It's kind of like waiting, dependent on these changes to happen, right? And he was saying about, my interpretation of it is that's frustrating and disappointing, but he was saying more important than waiting on these changes is to focus on making progress. I found that empowering, because I see in myself like a really strong dependency on wanting somebody to save me or somebody to do the work for me or whatever. Not that I'm saying that that's you, but this is the way that I'm interpreted it. And when he said that I'm making progress, I felt like it was like really met me where I was at, like, okay, I can make some progress. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. And the other thing that I wanted to share was in relation to my, I made some Facebook presentation for a game and stuff like that. And there a few weeks ago. And I wanted to apologize for the way that I did that. It was being a little forceful. And I looked at it afterwards, like you guys were doing this big presentation for Hladini, and I just kind of like barged in the room and said, hey, I got this really cool idea. I demand that you guys, get behind it with me and make it as an offering to her, not really such an appropriate way of going about it, but it wasn't my intention to be like demanding or harsh or anything like that. What was actually happening for me was I was feeling kind of like I wanted to partake in that, but my computer, I can't add videos on, so because it's stupid Chromebook, I can't add them on YouTube like that. So I just wanted to partake in the offering, and so I just put, I love you, Mother Hladini. And that was really coming from a really innocent, childlike place in my heart. And so then I noticed that it was on one of the main chat things, And sorry, I don't want to get into babbling, but then I noticed it was up on the thread, like obvious for a while, and she didn't comment or anything back to it. So I felt, like left out. I felt left out of the group. And though I kind of understand in the sense that, what she's dealing with in her life is kind of like she's really needing to put her focus on her death, or at least I don't even know what her status is right now, but her focus is to prepare for where she's going and not to get caught up in, me being like some 37-year-old guy, like, I love you, mommy, coming from that energy. So I get it. But anyway, and I noticed how that was the first time in a long time that I actually shared love with anybody. Like, I can't even remember the last time, honestly. So it just really hurt. Like, I felt like I was trying to express, like I did express my love, and then I didn't get reciprocated with, so it felt like a rejection. And so then Brielle put a post on there asking us to do, the group to do some collaborative thing, get out of our maintenance mentality to service. And she called out to some core members of the group. And I just felt hurt that I wasn't included in that group, right? Because at the time I was feeling disconnected from the group. And after I made that expression to Hladini, it was like it really stirred up a lot inside of me. And I was, I was thinking, oh, I love, these people. I want to come here, there, and make it my spiritual family, And I was feeling a lot of love and wanting to connect with you guys and that. And so I understand that same, Brielle, I'm not very active in the community, and I don't have any responsibilities. So why would she include me in that group of people? But still, I felt like I wasn't included. I cared very deeply about her. She was my coach for a year and a half. So again, that also felt like kind of like emotionally like a rejection, though I understand she's reaching out to the people who are very active in the community. And so then I put sharing this idea for the game, which is also an expression of my love for the community and my compassion for the world. It wasn't because of my harsh presentation, it wasn't accepted or whatever. Anyway, so I just wanted to apologize for that. It's, the harshness and the forcefulness coming out in my presentation was because I was expecting being rejected, basically. And I was feeling a little manic, I guess, because it's a big idea. I think big. So I put it out there in a way that was very bold and maybe forceful and a little harsh, but it was just this contamination of these defense mechanisms or whatever that I'm grungy rackets. It was like literally like I was feeling a lot of love in my heart, and here I'm trying to express it to a group of people that I want to make my spiritual family, and it comes out all not acceptable. So this has been my a big experience for me in my life, you know. Even my astrology says in my previous lifetime I did huge amounts of service. Am I babbling too much?
I'd like if you could bring it to a close within 60 seconds. I appreciate you sharing, and it's here past 9:30. If you could bring it to a close within 60 seconds. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I have this tendency for rambling. Yeah, but anyway, my astrology says like that. I did lots of service in my previous lifetime, and I have rage, anger because of basically not being accepted in those communities, taken advantage of, and whatever. Not that I'm getting that from you guys, you know. I in general feel accepted by you, but anyway, so I'm just getting some inspiration from your class and your trip there, just hoping that I can be able to come and get to be with you guys, and I don't know, just learn to clear these, you know, these fears and hurt emotions out of my heart, because I have a very strong desire to want to give my love fully,
You want to,
but it's frustrated.
you want,
Yeah,
you want to be included, and you want to serve, and you want to give your love.
yeah, and it's painful because it's hard to.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.